Hi, I'm Luke,
And I'm Sato.
and we love theater.
We're pretty much theater geeks.
So, we are bringing you this podcast talking about our experiences, mess-ups, and more.
Welcome to Stage Chat.
Hi, guys.
Hi!
We're so excited to be here because this is episode 2 of the Stage Chat podcast.
We made it, guys. We made it to episode 2.
Yeah, and it's going on Apple Podcasts, too.
We are so overly excited because we are going public now.
Yeah, when we got that email, we were like bouncing off the walls.
It was so fun. And later this podcast, we do have a surprise guest. We are not going to say who it is yet, but you guys will enjoy who will be up next.
You shall see. So today, last episode was a bit of negativity, so we want to have a pretty funny episode.
Yes.
So this episode is going to be about mess-ups on stage, like times when there's been a prop fall or something like that.
Yes, probably the most funniest things that you can do on stage.
And we probably have more, but these are just prominent ones in our brains.
Yeah.
So I have 3 mess-ups to say. Saro has 2, and our guest will also have 2.
So, Luke, you are starting first this time because I started last night, so here you go.
All right. Okay, so...
Oh, shit. I messed up again. Luke, you are starting this time because I started first last time, so the floor is yours.
Okay, so the first time, this is kind of sad, but also it's really interesting to think about, so we're going to talk about it anyway. So I was in this production, and we had a really, elaborate and crazy set. It had, slides and structures, and it even had, this big jungle gym.
God, don't get me started. Do not get me started on that set. That set was also a raffle prize.
Oh, yeah, they raffled it off, I remember.
And I just passed by the house that had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very, very weird to see the set in the backyard.
Yeah, so the first thing is we were, assigned to, go on the different structures, some were on the slide, some were on the rock wall, and there was this one girl, we're not going to mention her name, she had to go on the jungle gym. So then what happened is we were in the middle of performing a song, and she was supposed to go, on it.
At the very top of it.
Yeah, so she was, on the very top of it, which is a bit scary when you think about it. So I don't know what happened, but she
fell through it.
Yeah, she fell through the jungle gym, and we heard a faint little scream, I think, and I remember 2 of the girls, they ran off stage. They didn't have too prominent roles, so it wasn't a huge deal. So they ran off stage and got the directors and stuff. So there were 2 people that came on stage, and we all just had to cover them. We were in a big semicircle in the front. And then
they were screaming.
And then the directors were in the back with the girl who fell off, and she hurt her foot really, really bad. And then we just had to carry on the scene, and we were all really scared because we had no idea what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
So we sort of just went there, and when the song ended and we went off, we all rushed to backstage. And we were wondering what just happened. So later, once we got to intermission and there was a break, they told us that one of the people, the person who fell through, she had dislocated her kneecap when falling through. And they really appreciated us carrying on the scene and stuff. And we were all really sad and scared for her. But they told us she was okay. Well, not okay because she dislocated her freaking kneecap, but she was she didn't die. And then so we were asking if she was gonna come back for the performance, but I don't think she came back for the rest of them. We were halfway through.
No, the last show she came back to do the curtain call.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was kind of scary, but it's still a story, and we're just glad she got to perform for some of the shows and that she didn't get severely hurt.
Okay, my turn.
Alright, Saro's up next for a mistake.
Okay, so when I was in this show, and I had to wear a hat. So I used to do my hair really, really good, and I didn't really care that if I was wearing a hat, I wouldn't have to really show what was under the hat. So that day I didn't do my hair, and it was the worst mistake I could possibly make in theater.
Sorry, just a tip for people out there. Always do your hair and makeup even if you know you shouldn't.
Exactly.
Like, always do it. You never know what's gonna happen.
So, I had to take the hat off for the curtain call. And you know me, I had no actual product on my hair. I had done like really nice makeup, but no hair was done. So I took the hat off, and a portion of my hair was looking like a little flower sticking up out of my head. I was so humiliated. Like, I tried to like hold my head down and like try to bow. I rushed backstage and put the cap back on. I maybe pinned my hair back, I don't remember. But we took the cast photos that same day, because I remember like there was complications with the cast photos that show. And yeah, it was also like such a weird show, because everyone was acting like kids in that show, and it was very weird.
I remember I've had to deal with like bad makeup and bad hair on stage too. And it's like a nightmare, because you feel like everyone's looking at you, and you can't just run off. And you can't just run off on stage unless something like horrible happens. You like always have to carry on the scene. So if you look bad, it's like tough luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have sucked. Alright. I'm up next. So one time I was a lead in this play, and it was a very small scene that was happening. It was me and like 2 or 3 other kids. I think it was just 2 of them. And I was kind of scared. It was like my first ever lead in a play. And I remember, so we were walking around in the play, and then I tripped on stage.
Uh-oh.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, we had to like perform on this weird like step thing, and then I tripped on those steps and fell to the ground. I think I just like improvised or something. I think I said like, falling gave me this marvelous idea or something. Yeah, it wasn't a great improv, but whatever. Yeah, that was super funny. And then I remember asking people after the show and then being like, did you see me trip there? Like, that was super scary. And all of them thought it was part of the show, and no one really cared. So it wasn't a huge deal, but it's something kind of funny to think back on. Because like the people behind the stage saw me do it, and it was like super funny.
And we are back to Stage Chat Podcast. We are so overly excited because this is such a funny episode. Luke can agree.
Yeah, and like I love talking about like mistakes that have happened on stage, because they make like awesome stories.
So, Luke, you have one more to say.
And you have one more too, but I'll go first.
Great.
Alright, so this one was from a show. It happened back in like 2018, I think. And the show was going great, like no problems or anything. There was this girl, and she had a solo, and she was like singing for all of us. There was like a big group on stage. And then like halfway through the song, like for 5 seconds, she just like completely stuttered. And I don't know if she forgot her lines or if she got stuck or something. So yeah, I remember after that, we were all just kind of standing there. And then, as I said, for 5 seconds, she like went silent. And that may not seem like much, but in theater, when you're performing live on stage, 5 seconds feels like an eternity.
And we knew we are performing live. Like every single thing we do, there's like no lip singing, no like auto choreography. Like we're just there.
Auto choreography? Seriously? You mean auto-tune? So eventually after that, the chorus ended up taking over. And then I remember after the show, like it caused this huge controversy.
I was on stage.
Really? Yeah, it caused like this big controversy on like why she forgot her lines. And like, I don't know, it just got pretty big, even though probably shouldn't have been.
She was just sobbing the whole time.
Actually. Yeah, she was pretty sad. I felt kind of bad. And one other thing from that show, actually, I remember the person who played Grandpa Joe.
Oh my god.
So the actor was good, but I remember, so he was like in makeup or hair or something, and then something happened where he got like stuck backstage. Like I think he got caught up with like a costume thing.
Yeah.
And then he was supposed to go on stage and have a big solo. So instead, Mrs. Bucket took over for him. And it was super awkward, but she did it really seamlessly. So if she's listening to this, like, huge props to her. Like, awesome job there. Okay, Sarah, so your mistake is up now.
Okay. So, this mistake that I have is very, very funny. But it was also something that was very common happening that day. So, we are actually really, like, talking about Willy Wonka a lot on this podcast. So, the Oompa Loompas had to blow bubbles all across the stage.
Oh my god, I remember this.
And so first Willy Wonka fell on his back. Then some of the other kids fell on their back because how slippery the bubbles were. I was always at the back of the line. Like, I did not want to be in the front because I knew that was kind of like the place where people were falling. But it happened to me too. Like, I was walking and out of nowhere, I slip. My ankle turns like 360 degrees and I fall straight on my face.
Oh my
Thank God this was at rehearsal. My mic wasn't on, so they didn't hear me like almost crying because it hurt that bad. And it was just like so funny.
Yeah, I can imagine that being super funny. I don't think I was watching at the time because I had a smaller part in that show, so I didn't see you on stage. But still, that was super funny. And I actually have one more. So I wasn't actually in the show completely, but I heard it and it was supposed to be really funny. So if I say the wrong thing, sorry about that. My friends can correct me in the future. Okay, so one thing I remember is that this was a dress rehearsal for the show. And then something really annoying about shows is mics. Like, mics are a nightmare. Like,
and it's a pain to take off.
Yeah. They put this bad tape on your face, and taking it off hurts like hell. And then when on stage, like, sometimes they'll just like shut off, and sometimes they won't work at all. So one thing that happened with the mic is there was this girl, and she had this big lead part. I'm pretty sure this was the show Annie. And then she ended up walking off stage. And luckily this was a dress rehearsal. But she ended up having her mic on when she was like backstage, and people heard her like casually talking, and I don't know what she was talking about, but it must have been really weird during that dress rehearsal.
I remember that.
Really? You must have been in that cast. The show was double casted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time. So we're gonna have our guests now. We'll be right back, and we'll get them on the podcast. And we're back. Welcome.
And we are so overly excited to present our guest, our first guest on Stage Chat Podcast. He is an actor, a singer, and a dancer.
And one of our friends too.
One of our closest friends. It is none other than our best friend, Jimmy Lowry.
Hello.
Woo! Hi, Jimmy. We're so excited to have you here, Jimmy.
We're overly excited to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm excited to be on this podcast.
Yeah, this is our first ever guest on the show, and we're so excited. Like, I remember after we showed this first podcast to our friends, like everyone wanted to be on.
Yeah.
So
the review was overly. We're so grateful for how much people like the podcast.
Yeah, and we had to pick. I had to pick names out of a hat, and I remember the first video I sent. I didn't have pants on when I sent it.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
I pray that none of you saw that. But I sent the second video with pants on, and then I redid it. Okay, Jimmy. So if you didn't hear us, we are talking about mistakes on our show and shows, and you have 2 for us, right?
Yes, I do have 2.
All right, Jimmy, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, take it away.
Okay, so it was like. Okay, so let's begin. Sorry. So basically there was this person, let's call her Rebecca, and she had this wig on for the character that she was playing. She needed like a wig, and she just had like her big song with like her nemesis kind of.
Oh my God.
Kind of. And basically it was really funny because then when she like walked off stage, her wig fell off. It was like hilarious.
Oh my God.
Because like everyone saw it and it was just like right there on the ground. And then it was funny because in the next scene, I think it was the mother or someone, when they came on, they took the wig and they just like threw it backstage.
Oh my God.
And everyone started laughing. I started laughing.
Wait, was this during a show?
Yeah, this was during the show, like the real show, not a rehearsal.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible, but so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, I was in that show, but I do not remember that at all.
I'm pretty sure it was like in the third to last show or the second one.
Yeah,
I wasn't in that show because if I was in that show, I would miss the whole performance part of it because I was out of the country.
The show, to be honest,
you weren't in it?
No.
Oh. I really thought you were.
Okay, we're getting off topic. Yeah, to be honest, that show wasn't that memorable, but it had some really funny moments too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jimmy. So, what's your next mess up on
Okay.
stage?
Oh, and
So
I also
this
remember
next
that.
mess up. Yeah. What?
I
Sarah?
remember that everyone said that the lead role, the lead like female role, was really good in it.
Oh yeah, the person who played Mary Poppins was awesome.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah, she like killed it. If you can hear this, I'm not gonna say her name, but if you can hear this, Mary Poppins, like you did awesome.
Yeah.
She did really good.
You did.
I'm gonna share this with her when we're done.
Okay, so now the second mess up. This one is actually about me. So, in this show, there were 3 kids: Wendy,
Oh my God.
John, and Michael.
Yes.
Wait, was it Michael?
Yeah, it was Michael.
I was Michael.
I
sorry.
was John.
Yes, you were, Lou.
You know, I was just
So-
Mr. Smee.
So basically, there was this scene at the beginning where me and Luke were supposed to be like sleeping on these beds.
Oh
for, like,
my
10
God, I
freaking
hated
straight
this.
minutes.
Yeah,
For like 10 minutes.
for literally 10 minutes, we had to be asleep. We had to be fake asleep on these like hard wooden beds, and I was so pissed off because they were like, "Keep your eyes closed the whole time."
I know. And then, no, because it was like so fucking long. Because it was when Wendy met Peter Pan and stuff. And I remember the mess up was I kept my eyes open. I wanted to watch. I was bored. I wanted to watch, so I kept my eyes open. And then at the end of the show, everyone came up to me and they were like, "We saw your eyes were open." Even the director. And I was like so embarrassed.
Jimmy, there was 4 people on stage. They're obviously gonna see you if you have your eyes open.
Well, I thought I was covering them up with, because I had this little like bear stuffed animal or something. Remember?
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Yeah. It was kind of sad that I couldn't take it like around like the whole show, like throughout Neverland. I just left it at home, which is kind of out of character, but like they told me to do that.
That's just too funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember the directors, like, when we got to, like, the second show or something, like, they took us aside and spoke to us about keeping our eyes closed. And I remember I kept mine closed, but I don't know why they called me over there.
Probably because I blamed it on you. I don't remember, but maybe
Thanks,
I did.
Jimmy.
You're welcome.
We were, like, best friends in that show.
Yeah, you were. Because we like spent like the whole show together, right next to each other.
Yeah, that
I
show was
swear.
double casted. I hate it.
Oh yeah, I hated that it was a double cast. Okay, I'm sorry. This is really off topic, but if the other Michael are watching this, I'm sorry, but I was just better. It's true.
Oh, we have some drama on Stage Chat Podcast.
Dropping the mic.
It's true. I was much better. It was true. It was true.
Okay, then.
Okay.
All right, so that's out of our time for Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
You were a delight to
I
have on
loved
a
it.
podcast.
Yeah,
You
it
were
was
a delight.
Yeah, it was so
Thank
fun
you.
to have you here. We hope you can have you again sometime.
Okay, bye.
Okay, he just left. All right, so we're gonna take a break and then we'll come back and do our outro.
All right, guys, that was about our time for today. We love you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching episode 2 of Stage Cat Podcast.
Yeah, it was so much fun to have you here, and we really hope Jimmy can come back too. And remember, if you have questions, you can easily send them to stagechatpodcast@gmail.com.
And we will get back to them in the next episode.
And the songs in this podcast are Phosophenes by Idealism.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope to see you in episode 3.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.